driving down here, I'm like,
turn them off.
I was driving down here, I'm like, it's already getting kind of dark today. I wonder if they're going to put the lights on. Then they're like, you know what? Kill him.
Let's go, special deal. 3, 1, 2, 3, special deal.
Hello, sir.
Small crowd tonight.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
What's the latest? Who's going to start this Saturday? Is it Keaton Slovis?
Not sure yet. Keaton is not 100%. He's practiced more this week than he did last week, but he's not 100% yet. So we're still working through that.
Are you willing to start him if he's not 100%?
No, he won't play unless we feel like he's 100%. We're not going to play him. We gotta have him. It's not for his sake, you know. Like, not going to put him out there unless he can fully do the job.
How much is that kind of entering the conversation with Keaton about factoring in his future post BYU?
Well, yeah, we have an obligation to think about that for him as well. You know, I mean, my first job is to win here, but you know, we have an obligation to him to not put him at risk unless he's able to play the position the way he's capable of playing. And so we're getting close, though. He's doing a lot more than he has for several weeks. So.
Now, in terms of how when was the drop dead date on when you would determine if he's capable of going?
I don't know. We haven't set a drop dead date yet. We've just been kind of looking at it day by day. Yeah. So there's not a drop dead date. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Jake, just in terms of he had a decent performance against West Virginia, and
yeah,
obviously not so good in this last game. What do you make of him so far through two starts?
Well, first of all, you're right. He played pretty well against West Virginia. Not so great last week. What was not his best. But I would also say that I don't think any quarterback at this school has ever played against two defenses that good in their first two starts. That was a pretty tall task. So we're definitely not, going to judge too much yet. You know, we want to get a larger body of work before we, make any conclusions about him. I think we got to let him play more.
Looking at the list of seniors on the offensive side that's going to be honored on Saturday, one name I didn't notice was Keanu Hill. Has he already told you that he's coming back for next season? Because he's already his 5th year in the program. That's why I asked on him.
I'm expecting him back. I haven't had that conversation with him, but I fully expect him to be back next year.
How much conversation have you had with players, kind of to get a sense, knowing where they stand for next year? Because the portal's going to open up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, no, not like formal conversations yet, but here and there on the side, position coaches are talking to their guys. I've talked to a few guys, and obviously we'll talk to everyone right after our last game, immediately. Yeah, that's how it works.
It may be difficult to calculate, but Kalani said this is the most difficult schedule, arguably, in BYU football history. I mean, give me your perspective. You played here.
There's no argument. It's not even close. And the only ones that were even close to it were the last 2 years before this. So no one's ducking that. This is what we signed up for, man. And we've all been through this before. And you got to go through the fire to learn how to, stand on your feet in this league. And it's tough. We're going through a tough time right now, but we embrace the challenge, and you got to go through it to grow and get better.
Speaking of growing, getting better, what can you build off of? There's a lot of adversity, obviously, especially the last 3 games. What is it that you guys have done well enough to maybe build off of offensively? I know you've been hypercritical of your own offense, but what can you build off of that you guys have actually done well?
Well, we've made some progress in our run game the last 2 weeks. I know it doesn't show in the point totals, but we've made some progress. We've blocked a little better in the run game. Guys are running hard. And the other positive is just I think our guys are still playing hard. They've never, they're playing till the final whistle. And if you keep doing that and you keep working, you always got a chance.
Going through the fires that you noted, is there like a feeling though that like no matter what happens the rest of the way, like this whole group's going to come back, you guys are going to still see this thing out for next year and beyond?
I expect our, I don't. Every team has some turnover every year, but I don't expect. I expect our players. We got a lot of good young players that I think are going to be really good next year. Yeah.
Well, is Kalani given those assurances for you and the offensive staff, because you guys have navigated some difficulties this year?
This is not. We're going through the season right now. I'm not even talking about that.
Venables is a pretty well-known defensive mind. What do you see from Oklahoma on defense?
Really good defense, really good scheme. Just like a lot of the teams we played this year, they're loaded with good players. And very difficult scheme. I mean, Coach Venables is one of the best in the game.
Could you delve into some of the dynamics of system versus personnel fitting into systems? Over the last 3.5 years, the system is top 30 metrically in the country. This year, there's a drop-off, right? Strength of schedule, but also, I don't know, 40 new personnel on the offense. I mean, there's a lot of new personnel on the offense.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you balance personnel fitting into system fitting into personnel, and how do you adapt as a coach?
Yeah, that's important. You have to always adapt your scheme to who your best players are, and I think we've done a good job of that in the past. This year we have not done as well at that. Obviously, I mean the results are not as good as what we would like, but we still have 2 more games to get better. And I also think that a lot of the guys that are playing a lot for us are going to be a lot better next year, because that cohesiveness, the playing together, comes with time. And we've experienced that in the past, where, went through a couple of years where we took a few lumps and had a lot of young players. Then all of a sudden those guys were veterans and we were pretty good. So it's just how it works.
How excited are you to have a healthy Aiden Robbins and LJ Martin, both guys healthy for really the first time this year? Yeah,
they've both been healthy and played well the last couple games. And the last game, both of them showed up and did some good things. And it's huge. I mean, having a run game is huge. Our whole offense starts with that.
How much does Jake's ability to run change things for you guys?
I mean, it definitely opens up the game a little bit. His mobility can open up the game. If we can be a lot more efficient passing, then that's when you can really start to click. But he thought he provides us with some mobility, some scrambling, some run game. But we got to be able to throw it better, to make that worth it.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Come on, right up there.
Stand right up there.
All right, questions?
Dion, how's the kind of the mood of the offense in practice this week, getting ready for Oklahoma?
Yeah, we've been preparing more, trying to do the small things, get back to the fundamentals and get back to the foundations of everything. I feel like that's been our biggest focus, of just like getting back to the small things, doing the ordinary things extraordinary. So,
what are you kind of learning about the culture of this program as you guys are going through a bit of a refiner's fire with 3-game losing streaks and that kind of thing? Like it feels like this is when you kind of learn a lot about your team, is when you're going through bad times like this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, one thing I've learned about this team is, how hard everyone works. And, even after wins, we've had weeks to where everyone's just like, we got to turn it up a notch. And, even after tough losses and tough games where we know we could have did better, but we didn't, I feel like just the whole energy of the team and the attitude is just like, let's do more. What more can we do? So I feel like I've even adopted that, and the running back room itself has even adopted that, like, what more can we do to help,
What are your emotions, nearing the finish line of your college football career?
Yeah, bittersweet, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, things don't always play out the way that you wanted to, but, I've had fun, and, I love this family, and I wouldn't want to be here with anyone else. So, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, each event and each thing that we go through in life is almost a stepping stone. So I know I'm stepping into my next phase of life. So, I'm excited. The biggest thing is I just want to spend these next 2 weeks having fun, as most fun as I possibly can.
Are you still happy with the decision, now it's nearing the end
Yeah.
to come here to BYU?
Yeah, definitely. And, like I said, things don't always go how we plan it or how we expect it to, but the biggest thing is that, I've surrounded myself with an atmosphere that is like family, and, these are my brothers, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else.
What were your expectations, and maybe what was kind of the biggest change that you feel like has not gone according to
I feel like just productivity on offense. I feel like that kind of slowed us down. And I know, like, even just talking to fans aren't used to that, seeing the offense kind of struggle as much as we've done. So, the biggest thing that kind of threw a wrench in is just, like, our lack of productivity on offense. But at the same time, it's like, it happens sometimes. And, it's the little things. And sometimes we don't focus enough on the small things to where it turns into big things. So.
Did you expect coming into this year to be maybe a bigger part of the passing game as a running back? Or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I kind of figured as such, but I didn't really know. I didn't really have like my expectations set on. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I've just been kind of going with the flow, and that's kind of what it's been like since I first got here.
Why do you think maybe there's been times when, like, at least early in the season, you were a part of that, and then kind of went away from that? Like, why do you think that kind of happened?
I just feel like just struggling with the offense as a whole. Like it's kind of hard to get into a rhythm and move guys around and shuffle things around whenever we're not having consistency with, even the first group or even the second group, So I feel like just that lack of productivity just kind of slowed it down. And, what we've struggled with is keeping the ball and staying on the field. And it's kind of hard whenever we're not staying on the field and we have a lot of 3 and outs. So.
The last 2 weeks, the run game's kind of turned up a little bit,
Yeah.
a notch. And obviously you guys are healthier. Aiden's
Yeah.
healthy and LJ's coming back
Yeah.
to health and whatnot. But does any of that play into just having a more mobile quarterback, a running quarterback like Jake? Can that play into the run game and kind of help you guys?
I feel like it has for sure. Just because, you got to keep those guys honest, and they're not able to just like prevent or stop the run because the quarterback can pull it, and when those defensive ends mesh charge and try to, get us from the backside, it's kind of hard on them when the quarterback has pulled it 3 times for 60 yards during the game. And it's like, okay, they have to stay a little bit more honest. So I feel like it's made a little bit more wider lanes for us, and it's even like increased the amount of seams that we see.
Being someone who grew up in Texas, did you follow Oklahoma at all? I mean, knowing border state, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I just know that the energy in Texas is, a lot of people kind of despise Oklahoma, but not in a bad way, only because, they take all the talent from Texas. So it's like, why not just stay at home and play for your squad? So, yeah.
This is your first time facing
Playing.
Oklahoma.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir.
I know you hadn't played in Texas before.
This season, yeah.
Right, but like Oklahoma's kind of close. Do you think
Yeah.
you have a lot of people there this time?
Yeah, definitely. And, my family's excited. I'm excited. It's going to be a big game. We just got to handle business, and I feel like, it's a great way to end the season on a positive note despite the adversity we faced throughout the season.
What have you seen from this Oklahoma team?
I feel like they're physical, they're disciplined, they're very gap sound, and offensively they're very explosive. So, I feel like we have to do a good job of, just being productive, staying on the field, converting, getting in second, third, and short situations. Yeah, but I know that they're very disciplined on defense, super physical. They're going to be where they're supposed to be at all times, so we just have to do our part.
What's been your favorite part about being a BYU football player and living here in Provo?
I feel like the community, the support system is unmatched. Like even when I first got here, I feel like I've been welcomed since like family, and I know even after my time here, I'm still going to have a great support system and community. So I feel like that's the number one thing, and that's something that's like you can't find that anywhere else.
All right, thanks, Cam.
Sure. Thank you, guys.